All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Tactical Thursday. You will remember that Tactical Tuesday has switched to Thursdays so that we can, so I can go and coach some basketball every week. But welcome. If you guys are tuning in on YouTube, please do me a huge favor and destroy that like button, the thumbs up. It really helps the YouTube algorithm and, of course, feeds my ego, which makes me want to make more videos and keep doing this every single week. So thanks everybody for being here. We've got folks in the Zoom, we've got folks over on YouTube, and tonight's important in my opinion. There, over the past week or so, there have been changes to tactical arbitrage that have come down from on high, if you will, that are being forced because Amazon has made some overarching rule changes for developers and for software guys. So anybody who has not caught up yet will eventually have to catch up because Amazon is kind of going through the list of softwares out there and saying, "Hey, here is what needs to happen." So it's going to affect everybody eventually. However, smart software developers like Alex and others, folks over at Inventory Lab, have tried to do what they can to make sure that you are affected in as small of a way as possible. So what we're going to do, what the goal for tonight is to actually go over some of the changes and make your life a little bit easier, if you will, with these changes. So let's get rolling. Hey, it's Pat the Reseller. It is over on YouTube. I do want to also remind everybody that just like every week, we have giveaways at the end of every single show. And all you have to do is drop your first name and the first initial of your last name into a little Google form. Does not require an email or anything. Enter the drawing. And all you have to do is drop your name in there, and then at the end of the show, we've got 14 prizes to give away. It's 14 individual prizes over, let's see, 5 different products. So, all right, let's get rolling. I know we've got some questions. I want to go over some of those, and then we will dig in a little bit to tactical arbitrage and talk about what changes have come. So the first question was from, I think it was Jason. Yeah, Jason. Jason's question was, when you say go an inch deep and a mile wide, how deep is an inch? 2 or 3 months? That is a great question. An inch varies. So let's say that I find a product that has an excellent rank and the price stability is really, really good going back 3 or 6 months. Matter of fact, I have a product like this. The price is, like, I sell at the same price. It never changes. And none of the other competitors seem to change the price. It just stays right there where it's at. And it doesn't make a lot of money. It makes about $1 or so. But it's a buck that I didn't have before, and it sells, I don't know, 50 to 75 units a month. So it's an easy replen. Now, on that one, I go 75 units deep. Now, I tested it at first. I tested it with 10 because they're inexpensive, and I could ship them in really, really inexpensively. So I tested with 10, and then I started going, I buy 50 to 75 per month, just in around Q4, actually go a little bit deeper because this is a product that people use a little bit more during the holidays, but they use it all year round as well. So that inch is really going to depend on how comfortable you are with reading a kepograph. It's going to depend on how much sourcing capital you have, how much the products are, and all kinds of things. So, but what I would suggest is if you're new, if you're still a little wet behind the ears, then I would suggest that you buy 5 to 10 units if that's not going to crush your sourcing budget, and try to go as wide as possible. Because let's say that one product tanks, well, you can get out of it even at a loss, get some of your sourcing capital back, and you still got maybe 9 or 10 other products to take care of you. Okay, so I would never buy 2 or 3 months worth unless it was like a sure thing, or if it was an item that is not being made anymore, or it's a wholesale product where I've got a map agreement, that kind of stuff. Let's see, we've got a few other questions here before we start digging in. How do you grab ASINs past page 4000 with Storefront Stalker? So Storefront Stalker should allow you to get 9,600 ASINs from a page and from a seller. If you have an example link where you're not able to grab all the ASINs, shoot that to me in the Q&A or here in the chat, and I'll actually go in there and we'll take a look at it. Let's see. Another question is, heard that Keepa is back on TA. Is that true or false? It is false. Okay, it's true and false. Let's put it that way. So it's false in the fact that there is now a history chart. It is no longer a Keepa graph that's inside of Tactical Arbitrage, and we're going to go over that tonight. The Keepa graph has been removed. Instead, a history chart with all Tactical Arbitrage only data has been populated, and it's actually a good thing. The history chart actually is a little bit more accurate in a couple of ways, and even though the length of data has shortened, so right now let's say that something's been on Amazon for 5 years, well, you can only get 180 days worth of data from the history chart, but as things progress, that should be able to come back a little bit longer. But again, I'm not really sure you need much more than 180 days to make a sourcing decision right now. And if you absolutely do, like if you want to look at the maybe last Q4 or last textbook season, then having a Keepa subscription is just going to be your best bet. So I pay for it. I wouldn't tell you not to pay for it if I didn't pay for it. And I think it's a good thing to have. Easy Beezy, what's going on, man? Thanks for popping in on YouTube, dude. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Rodolin says, my saved folder is empty, but in the dashboard, it is showing that I have 6,000 items. What do I do with this error? Let me go ahead and share this here. Google Chrome, share that. Okay, you guys should be able to see this here. So what you're saying here is, right here, you say you have 6,000 items, but when you go to the view data page, you're seeing 0. My guess is that you have some filters turned on this page, okay? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the estimated monthly sales. I'm going to put in 5,000 and above. I'm going to hit apply. And when I do that, you're going to see that I now have no data available here. It has 0 out of 1,885 items. If you click this little green reset filters button, you should have your items show back up. That is my guess without actually being able to look at your account. And it's very possible that it's something else. And if it is, you can shoot in a support ticket, and one of us will take a look at it for you. Let's see here. Travis asks, what's the subject today? The subject today is the changes that have come about. There are a couple of changes, a couple of big changes that have come, and I'm going to show you guys how to do a few things. And then, of course, answer everybody's questions as well. Let's see. Matthew says, my seller account is linked to my Prime account. I'm interested in Amazon to Amazon flips and wondering how to go about setting up the second account. I know I need an account with no Prime benefits to buy with, but if my main seller account is already linked to Prime, can myself or my wife start another basic Amazon account and purchase that way? Matthew, here's what I would suggest. Go get yourself an Amazon business account, okay? It is this right here. Sign up for an Amazon business account. You can create a free account. I believe the shipping is free shipping at over $149 or something like that. Don't buy the business Prime, and then use that business account. You can also add in your tax exempt certificate if you'd like to, and then you're going to have invoices. You have tax exempt, all kinds of things here that you can do. Ted asks, how many sellers on the item are you talking about? I'm not sure what you mean, Ted. You give me a better idea there, and I'll talk about it. Chris, when you grab ASIN list from the product finder at Keepa or even from Tactical Bucket Top List and run it on TA, do you usually tend to be less analytical and not go much in depth product by product, since you or Keepa basically already did a lot of the job by giving you the products that you want to see, i.e. sales rank, buy box of 9, more, etc. I'm still a bit analytical if I'm running an ASIN list like that, because I want to make sure I don't have a bad buy. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. That was a very important pre-bedtime question that had to be asked. So I'm still analytical. I definitely, I'm definitely looking at more of the data because I think more of them are going to fit my criteria. But one, sometimes that data can still be incorrect when it's coming from Keepa or anything like that. So, but I'm running through it just as quick as I would any regular scan. Let's see here. How do I know if the filters selected for FBA or DS search are good for a category? You won't know until you actually go in and look at some of the data. So here's the thing. There is no silver bullet. Different filters are going to work for different things. You're talking about doing FBA and also doing drop shipping. So DS stands for. Here's the thing, and I preface this with everybody. Drop shipping from a place like Walmart and Target is considered against terms of service. So if you're going to do it, just know ahead of time that you're taking that risk, okay? However, what you need to do is you need to go in and you need to play around with the filters. Figure out what's going to work best for you. I always suggest using loose filters, and then we actually need to use our eyes and our brain to get rid of all the things that we don't want to have, okay? So for example, what I do is when I run a scan, the first thing I do is I have this history chart over here on the left, and if the history chart intrigues me, then I start taking a deeper look. If the history chart does not intrigue me, then I move right on past it and I go down to some other items. So like this one here, this Optimum Nutrition, and now I'm pretty sure that they're a brand that doesn't really like resellers, and I have to double check. But I like the fact that the buy box price is pretty steady over the last 90 days. And I like the rank. The rank is really great. Okay. So this would be something that I would look at, especially if I can get it at $27.99 and sell it around the $55 or $56 mark. Okay. All right. And then you're going to do the same thing with drop shipping. If you're doing drop shipping, which again, I just said, is against terms of service, you're going to want to play around with filters and just see what's right for you. Okay. Let's see here. got a question from YouTube. What percentage of your business is wholesale? It's less than 5%. The goal this year was to get that up, and that just didn't pan out. So the goal for next year is to get a bit more wholesale to prep centers and then back over to Amazon starting next year. I know what to do. I just need to sit down and actually do it. Alan says, you've mentioned before that there's money we can make just off of Walmart by itself if we're willing to buy things that don't necessarily make $5, $6, $10, but willing to buy something that makes $1, $2, $3 and sells on a regular basis. Could you maybe elaborate more on this with an example so we have a better idea of how this can be done? Yes. So with Walmart and places like Target, people, so there's going to be some people who are probably going to hate me for this. You really need to look at items that sell there, like their in-store brands, okay? And don't just look at the single packs. Look at the doubles and look at the 3-packs and things like that, okay? So for example, and I'm not going to do a Walmart scan at the moment, but if you go and actually do a Walmart scan and do very, very loose filters, okay, you're going to come up with a product like, let me find it here. You're going to come up with a product like, I believe it's these, where is it? Can't remember if it's Mainstays or if it was a Sterilite product. But you're going to come up with a product like these shoe boxes, okay? Could be this one. These ones are all, might be this one here. But you're going to come up with something like this. And in a single, it sells for 84 cents, okay? And if we take this and search Google for it, you are going to find this on Amazon in a 12-pack. You're also going to find it in a 6-pack. And you are, if we go a little bit further, I know that there is a 2-pack somewhere. Sterilite 6-quart 2-pack. I know that I've seen it. Sorry, guys. Well, anyway, even this one right here, this particular item still sells. Now, I don't think that's a 100% match. This looks like an older version of the Sterilite box. But you're looking at $32 here, okay, for a 12-pack. These are 84 cents a piece. If you buy them in a 40-pack, they're not available. Are they available in a 10? What about a 36? There we go. The 36-pack is available in white. But you're looking at $37.11. That's a little over $1. So they're cheapest in singles, okay? You take that 84 cents, multiply it by 12, and you've got $10.08. This one is not profitable at $10.08. However, I know there's a 2-pack. I saw it not long ago. But what I would suggest that you do is if you go into Amazon, okay, and you find a product or two like this, you can, well, they're probably 911 Royman. They're either not making a profit or they are buying this wholesale or something. Heck, these ones don't look like the ones on Amazon or on Walmart. So these could even be from Alibaba for all I know. But I know I've found a profitable one before. But for example, once you find a product like this, you can go in and look at the other sellers and then start stalking these storefronts. Okay. And I would suggest start stalking the ones that have the number of ratings that you want to have. So let's say that you have 300 ratings and you really want to get to 400. Well, then I'm going to look for somebody who's got right around 400 or, or 700. And if we go here to Bigler Direct, none of these people are actually using FBA. I would prefer to find someone who's using FBA. But I'd go in here and then I'd start stalking their storefronts and finding the other things that they have. Okay. So like this is not necessarily what people like to hear. Okay. But one of the things we need to do is we need to go and do some work. It's yes, we can grab a lot of data with tactical arbitrage, but we're also going to need to go in here and actually do some hard work and go through products and go through storefronts and see if it's something that we should take the time to run through tactical arbitrage. So that's what I would start doing. Now, the other thing is you can find much better selling products. This was a horrible example, but there are others that we could. I used to sell some nose spray from Walmart. Sold well, and you could have 75 or 100 products that make you $2 from Walmart that you can just replan over and over and over and over again. All right, Roger wants to know, is there a way within tactical arbitrage to do a reverse search where we can pick what sourcing sites we want to see the results from the ASINs provided? If not, is there a way to do this somehow, like by adding negative numbers on the discount section to each of the sourcing sites we don't want to get results from? Roger, there is a way to do this. So let's say that you want to do a reverse search and you do not want to see other sites. So it's pretty easy to do. Give me 1 second here and let me pull up my settings. Searching. Okay, so you should be able to see my search filters. And what we're going to do is if we actually go into the reverse search domains here, we can actually exclude domains that we don't want to have in our reverse search. For example, let's just say that I have 2 sites selected. But let's say that I want to do a reverse search and I only want to reverse search Walmart, for example. I would select all of them. That means they're all excluded from the reverse search. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to deselect. As soon as I find it here, there we go. Come on. I'm going to deselect Walmart, okay? So now I have 801 items selected. There is one store, Walmart, that is deselected, which means it will be the only one that is reverse searched, okay? You could do that with whatever sites you wanted to. Hit save, and then your reverse searches will only go on the sites that you have deselected. It's as easy as that. Yeah, Ted, sorry. Like I said, that was a really bad example. Gabriel says, I tried to add the new extension. It never loaded. When I tried to reload it, it just says loading. What can I do to stop it and reload it? That is going to be something that we're probably going to need to talk about off air, because I may need to share screens and figure out what's going on and things like that. 911 Royman, are you familiar with Kirkland Signature brand? Yes, I am absolutely familiar with Kirkland Signature. I've sold a lot of their stuff, actually. Travis says, do you recommend opening a stealth account as a backup just in case your account gets suspended for whatever reason? If so, do you recommend any service that does this? I've thought about it, but honestly, I probably wouldn't do it. I really don't want to. I don't want to get in Amazon's bad graces. I want to stay in their good graces. And if for some reason they caught me somehow, I would imagine I could get both my accounts taken away from me if somebody happened to screw up. Let's see here. Now, opening a second account is not a bad idea, though. A legitimate second account. Like sell used on one account, sell new on the other account, or do wholesale on one account. And you can have more than two. You could do private label on one, you could do wholesale on one, you could do used on another, and you could have a fourth for OA. And you can open them up legitimately. Okay. Now, they may not be ungated in a bunch of stuff, and it's going to be like a brand new account, but at least you're going to be doing it the right way. Does the history chart still show if Amazon has ever sold the product? Yes, absolutely. The history chart will show if Amazon has sold the product. I'll need to find one. I think the way that I have my filter set up, I'm not going to have a lot of them. But I'll double check that as well. Question related to EasyKey webinar. When you change the backend search term, adding more keywords of your listings, does it mean when people search for it, you will get the buy box from that search because you have that keyword listed and the current buy box guide doesn't? No. When you update keywords on the back end, they are for the listing, they are not for you. So when you make a listing better, you are making it better for the community, but since you are part of the community, you should also see your boat lifted with that rising tide, if you will. Let's see here. How long does a customer have to demand a return? Technically, it is 30 days, although that is not stuck to. And then during Q4, I believe that goes to 90 days. So we have February, which is we can call Returnuary, if you will, January and February. Chris, what is the benefit to have a business account to do Amazon to Amazon flips? The benefit is that it can have your business name. It looks legitimate. You get invoices with everything on there. You can use your tax exempt, and it just looks really, really clean when you're doing flips. That's the biggest benefit. And if you have your tax exempt, that's huge. Here in Florida, if I have it shipped to me rather than my prep center, that's 7% tax. So that can save me a good amount of money by having my tax exempt status in there. Let's see here. Mario, what's up, man? What does the pink highlighted product mean? If you mean this pink right here, it means that this is not in stock. This is not in stock currently. Oh yeah, very good, Jason. Jason, all three in the view here, they're showing orange. So yeah, those are Amazon. Those are buy box prices or Amazon prices. Sorry. We can actually turn those off if we want. Turn that on. You can turn these all on and off. What extension that you use to have the detailed pop-up box for whichever product that you choose? Perhaps you mean RevSeller. I'm not 100% sure what you mean there. Let's see here. I should do a series about sourcing wholesale live. We could do something like that. The whole row. I don't see any pink in the whole row, but there is purple. And in purple here, what this means is that it has been identified as a multi-pack. So for example, this particular product, we can see here that the picture from Jet is a singular item, and the picture on Amazon is a 3-pack. The Amazon API has reported this as a 3-pack. It also says pack of 3 in the Amazon title. So Tactical Arbitrage has gone in here and figured out that it's a 3-pack. You can see that in the quantity section. And this just means that it's been identified as that. And then it gives me all the information after that. Is there a way to get all of the Amazon categories and subcategories all the way to like level 6? Roger, yes, there would be a way to do that. You could use the category tree on Amazon or on Keepa. There'd be a bunch of different ways to do that. Probably not something I'm going to go over here, but I could help you with that. Travis says, you mentioned before that you don't typically sell against Amazon, but if you can see in the Keepa history that Amazon is sharing the buy box even occasionally, you would list it. Could you explain how you can tell if Amazon has shared the buy box on a Keepa graph? So let's take a look at this particular item here. I'm going to take a quick drink here, guys. Okay. So we can see that this ships from and is sold by Amazon.com. And of course, we can see a bunch of other sellers in here. It looks like Cymart Stores is matching the Amazon price. So what we can do here is I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to start looking at the buy box here. So it looks like on this particular day, the buy box was held. That's the new third-party FBA. It's the buy box. Let's go down here. The buy box was Amazon. We can just keep looking through here. Buy box was Amazon. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of these things here so we can just see buy boxes. Amazon, Amazon, Amazon. So this particular product looks like Amazon really doesn't share the buy box on it. Now, someone may get a little piece of the sales for some reason or another. Maybe someone comes down here and hits add to cart instead of up here for the one-time purchase, or they see subscribe and save, but they don't want to do that, and they see add to cart down here. But typically, if you go through Keepa, you can start looking at these things, and it will pull the information. Okay. And then the other thing is, if you're actually on the product detail page, just see who shows up at the time that you're looking at it. Right now, we can see this is shipped from and sold by Amazon.com. But sometimes there was a product I was selling in the past where it was also held by Amazon. However, all the FBA sellers were about $1 below Amazon, and they held the buy box 100% of the time. And so when I saw that, we went really deep. It was ranked like 9,000 in health and beauty, and we ended up buying like 200 units because I could see that they were never holding the buy box. So you really got to use Keepa. Debbie says, you just mentioned opening separate accounts for different types of selling. For example, one account for wholesale, one account for PL, etc. But I thought that Amazon doesn't allow us to open a second account. So Amazon does not allow you to open a second account without prior approval, and they want a good reason. So if you open up a case with Amazon and say, hey, I want a second account, I want a third account, etc., and you say, here's the reason, and it could be I'm teaching my employees with an account and I don't want them messing around with my selling account, or I want to sell used products or refurbished products on an account, or I want to sell adult products on one account. I want to separate my brands from each other. There's all kinds of good reasons that Amazon will give you more than one selling account, and they'll do it legitimately. Okay. So you just have to choose the right reason and be honest about it, and then you'll want to make sure that you're not listing the same products across multiple selling accounts. So, for example, if I'm selling this Burt's Babies on selling account number 1, I'm not going to sell the exact same thing on selling account number 2. That would be wrong. Scott makes a good point about the returns. Depends on categories. Baby categories has a 90-day return window. If you are selling new products and you're not selling shoes or clothing, you're likely going to have somewhere between a 2 and 5% return rate. So, yeah, I honestly don't really care what Amazon says the return window is. They often don't honor it anyway. For example, things like groceries are not supposed to be able to be returned, but many times they are. And the same goes with some things like topicals, and there are a lot of different things that are not supposed to be returned, where Amazon will accept the return anyway to keep the customer happy. So I just don't worry about it, and I just sell. You should make it up with what you're selling. You should get reimbursed when it's proper, when it's when it's done improperly, and so on and so forth. Do you still need to tick the remove out of stock products tab if you have already put a number, let's say 5, on the remove if estimated sales is less than tab? Remove out of, yes, you will want to do that, because remove out of stock products is going to be from the source site. So what Alan is talking about here is when you're actually setting up a product search, if you don't want to see items that are out of stock at the source site, you can go into the remove and you can turn on this remove out of stock products. That's going to remove products from being shown that are out of stock at the source site. Okay. The remove if estimated sales is less than X, so less than 5, for example, that's the number of sales per month for the actual product on Amazon. Let me go answer some from YouTube here. How do you stop the software matching singles against multi-packs? This is a question that I get a lot. And forgive me, I tend to get a little, a lot of people want to blame tactical arbitrage, okay? The problem is not tactical arbitrage per se. The problem is bad information. So, for example, I'm not sure if I have any multi-packs in there right now that are not matching properly, but let's say that this was showing 1 against a 3-pack, okay? Well, it could be because that the Amazon API is showing this as 1 unit being sold in a 3-pack. So if this listing was built where it says that it was 1 unit instead of 3 units sold as a pack, then it would show that to tactical arbitrage, and tactical arbitrage can only show you the information that it's given. And so that's really where that's happening. Okay. Now, what you can do is you can go in the remove products if the Amazon title contains the word or words, and you can put in things like pack, okay, or 2 or 3. PK, things like that. Now you want to be careful with numbers, because then you're going to have things that might say 2 ounce or 3 ounce or 6 ounce or whatever. But all these words that might be in Amazon titles that would say that it comes in a multi-pack, you could remove those. Okay. Now, here's the thing about doing that. Let's say that we come across an item and we're like, oh crap, it's actually a multi-pack on Amazon while I'm looking at the view data screen, but it's only showing as a single. Well, it only takes me a moment. Let's say it takes me 45 seconds. It takes me 45 seconds to hit this little pencil button and put that in as a 2-pack instead of a 1-pack. I can hit the little, I'm not going to, but I can hit the little check mark button, and then tactical arbitrage is going to figure out whether it's profitable for me at that 2-pack or if it's not profitable. And then anytime in the future, it's going to show me the right information, even though the information from Amazon has been incorrect. So we've just fixed it. And it's very possible that we've found a diamond in the rough that we can sell, and a lot of people are not going to. So I would suggest that you be willing to take the time, because we have to remember this is a business, and it's still like I don't wake up every morning and spend 10 minutes sourcing, and so I'm not the biggest seller. We're between $30,000 and $50,000 per month, depending on in gross sales, depending on what time of the year it is and how much work I've put in. Okay. But I don't wake up in the morning and in 10 minutes I've done my sourcing and that's it, because Tactical Arbitrage took care of it for me all night long. Tactical Arbitrage did all the heavy lifting, but I still have to go through and I've got to parse the data and I've got to look at it and say, okay, this one looks good and I'm not sure about this one. And you know what, this one, there's something that needs tweaked here. Let me go mess with this. I'll go in and fix ASINs. For this product here, for example, this Biolage or BL, I don't know how you pronounce that. It matches against the wrong size. Okay, it's 6.7 matched to a 33.8. Now I could take a moment and go to Amazon and find the match, and chances are it's going to be a negative ROI. But because I did that, I'll know for sure. And then in the future, if it's not profitable, I won't see this again. Okay, but at least I know, or I found an absolute diamond and no one else is going to find it because I matched it in my account. It doesn't get matched in anybody else's account, and now I can go replan this until other people actually find it. Excuse me. Okay. Michael says, I find a lot of instances where the thing is identified as a multi-pack, but TA hasn't done the math and adjusted for this. Please report those. Try to refresh them. If that doesn't fix the issue, report those and they'll get taken care of. Things do happen on occasion. There are bugs and those bugs need to be squashed. But if we don't know about the bugs, we can't squash them. Does Keepa have the Keepa product count top percentage that TA has on the remove ranks over section somewhere for free members? Or if not for free, they don't. They have a Keepa product count, but Roger wants to know, like, in the product search, you can see in the as per settings here, you've got it's like top 10% in Keepa. Okay, so what Keepa does is they say, hey, here's how many products are in this category, and then Tactical Arbitrage does the work for you. So you can get them here. I actually also make a sales rank chart on my blog, cleartheshelf.com, where you can go and download it for free. Heck, you can even just look at it. You don't even have to give me your email. You can look at it and see how many products are in a particular category if that's what you're looking for. Will says, can you work up an additional store reason list for us? We'll expand on that. I'm not sure 100% what you mean. 911 Royman, does Bayer Corporation make IP claims? They own multiple brands. I'm not aware of Bayer making IP claims. They might. I don't know all the brands, and I definitely don't keep track of all the brands that are in IP Alert off the top of my head, but it's possible. John from Columbia, what's going on, man? I'm not going to. John wants to know, what pages do you recommend to do XPaths? I'm not going to recommend XPaths. What I would recommend is that, like, if you're using Tactical Bucket, for example, go in and look at the sites that are available and then do some manual OA on some of the sites. Okay, if you can find a couple of profitable products, then use those. Because one, I don't want you to waste your XPath credit or paying someone for it. Okay. And I can't source all the sites. I've got 800 sites inside of Tactical Arbitrage in total, and I can't source all of them. And I know that there are some XPaths that I've never touched. But if you're not using XPaths, there are also plenty of sites in Tactical Arbitrage that have not been touched. There are, you may or may not believe it, but there are places where people have not sourced in the past 10, 15, 30 days inside of Tactical Arbitrage. Let's see here. Travis says, I think you might have just explained this, so if so, I'll check the replay. In the also show reverse search results of more sources tab, can we uncheck the UPC sourcing sites so we don't want to get results? We don't want to get results from. Yes, you can. You'll want to do that in your settings. We did talk about that. And Ted, yes, the orange dots on here show where Amazon has been on there. And I'm going to need to double check with Alex, because there's got to be some. Like, I want to say that those are, you know what, let's just do this. Let's pull out. I'll get no Amazon. Let's apply that. Let's take a look over here on the actual product detail page. Amazon's been on that one. All right. Yeah. So the orange dots are the Amazon prices. The line is the actual buy box price. Okay. What we can see here is $29.99, and we can see it looks like Amazon was in here at $31.98. So the orange circles, if you will, are the are where Amazon has been on it. Alan says, you've given an example in which you were 25% above the merchant fulfilled sellers and you were holding the buy box 100% of the time. Can you see this metric on Seller Central or somewhere else that tells you how long you've held the buy box or what percentage, etc.? Yes, there is a report. I don't check it. And I'll have to find it. So if you want to message me via email or on Facebook or something, I will find out what report that is that tells you what percentage of the buy box you're holding. The reason I knew that I was at 100% is because my repricer Aura was telling me. And I also would check like 4 or 5 times a day just to see if I was continuing to hold the buy box. If you change the quantity and the item disappears, does that mean it falls outside of the filter? If you have a filter turned on, yes. So for example, or what will happen is, let's say that I'm going to change this to a 2-pack, okay? And let's say that I have this sorted by gross ROI. Well, changing it from a single to a 2-pack is going to change the ROI, and it's not going to be at the top any longer, so it will move it down the list. In the Biolage example, how would you change it on your account to the right product size when you find it on Amazon? That's a great question. So what you can do is, let's say, for example, and it looks like these two actually don't match, okay? This is a, it's going to be a small item, okay? So on JCPenney, this is, what is this? This is a 3 fluid ounce, okay? And over here, it's a 32 ounce. So what I do here is I go to the 3 fluid ounce one, and I can come up here and I can grab the ASIN, okay? So I've just grabbed the ASIN from RevSeller, And now I'm going to come back here, and you'll see under the ASIN tab is a little pencil. I click on the pencil. I highlight everything. Shoot. I highlight everything. I paste in the proper ASIN. I hit the check mark. And now these match perfectly. We can see this is $10, and we can see over here $9.99. And of course, because I have filters on, it's now gone. But it matched up the ASIN to the proper product. Hey, Rita. Rita showed up. What's going on? So, Jerry, I believe that, how do you match the unmatched items? I believe that answered that question as well. Let's go in. There are a couple of these ones here. I'm brand new. Shipped my second FBA box today. That's awesome. Is there some leads on how I can learn more about strategies to get ungated and what I can expect as a brand new seller? So, strategies to get ungated as a brand new seller, you are going to need to have invoices from wholesalers. Okay, so if you want to get ungated in toys, for example, you're going to want to reach out to someone like EE Distribution, or if there's something in health and beauty or grocery, you're going to want to reach out to AB Delivers. Most of these places really are not going to be profitable, so I'm not giving away places that anybody is going to go source from on a regular basis. And you're going to need those to get ungated. The second option is you can just sell through what you can sell, and over time, things will start becoming ungated for you automatically. David says, if you get a list of 1,000 ASINs top rated in a category, how easy is it to do a reverse search with no filters and get a report with all stores which carry the item and the average 30-day Amazon buy box? Well, part of that is now impossible. The 30-day buy box is gone. Okay? You get the Amazon buy box price, and you get the sales rank, the average sales rank over 30 and 90 days, but the 30-day buy box is gone. That was part of Amazon's deal, was getting rid of that information. I'm not sure if you went into this last week or not. I'll go look for it if you did, but can you go into a step-by-step and pricing of sending your inventory into a prep center for Amazon? This is a great question, Chris. So here's the thing about prep center, okay? It's really going to depend what your prep center wants you to do, okay? So I have two prep centers, okay? We have decided to get rid of prepping out of the house, no more, okay? We are going to have everything outsourced except for sourcing. So all of my OA goes to a prep center in a tax-free state. And that prep center wants me to fill out a Google Sheet for them that has the ASIN, the number of units that I send, the title, and where it's coming from. Now, the other prep center, they will either use Inventory Lab or a spreadsheet, and they will create my shipments for me in Inventory Lab or in Seller Central. That's the one that will do my RA, okay? So it just depends. So it's kind of hard to say this is exactly what you need to do, but I keep an ongoing list of all of my OA products. That way I can update them in my sort of regretting your next question. So that you can update them in Inventory Lab or wherever you're keeping track. Okay. When you say report, Oh, no, you're good, man. You're good. When you say report something in TA, especially if Amazon product doesn't match, do you mean select the mismatch option? So if something doesn't match, you can just exclude it, okay? Or you can go match it. Those don't really need to be reported. But what does need to be reported is, let's say this here, you update this from a single to a 2-pack, and then it's not showing the right price. Okay, it's not updating this updated price. You'd want to report that so we can take a look at it, and you can just send that into the chat right down here. You'll see Julie is the wonderful person who handles most of the tickets, and then I pop in and help on occasion as well. Let's see. That Kenneth, yes, this is live on YouTube at the moment, so it's always recorded and good to go. Let's see here. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything here from you guys. Do you think profits from replen items are usually smaller than profits from items you find on sale? Yeah, I think the profits. So here's the thing. Here's the thing to think about profits. Let's say that you go after a sale and you find something that you're probably not going to be able to replen until the next sale. And depending on what store that is, maybe that sale is a month from now. Okay, one of my sources has a sale on some products that I like to sell every single month, or maybe that sale's not for another 3 months or 6 months, and you'll never be able to replen that item, or maybe it's going out of stock or whatever. So your profit on those is actually going to be lower for the year than your overall profit for replen items. Let's say that you have a replen. So I have a replen that we make about $700 a month on profit. Okay. That replen has been consistent for about 6 months. So my overall profit on that particular replen is huge. Now, I have made more profit on some other items where I found them on sale or on clearance or something like that. The thing is, I have never been able to find them again. How do I run a scan on the clearance items in a store? I've gone over that. You can use the Easy Bulk for those in a product search. I would go back and watch how to run a product search. It's in the Tactical Tuesday playlist on my YouTube channel. And we may end up starting kind of over again because I know we've got new people every single week. But I don't want to bore everybody because there's been a lot of people who've been here through this whole thing. So go watch week 1, which was all about product search. On view data, when you are going through every item, how can you guess it may have a suppressed buy box just from the data you are seeing and without having to go to the Amazon page? There should be a little suppressed buy box, green little tab. I'm not seeing any right now on this particular page. Let me. Oops. Yeah, it's not going to. Nope, not going to show me. Anyway, you should see a little button underneath the buy box price, and it will say like SUPP, which means suppressed. That would be a good way to figure that out. If we want to create bundle based on the items listed as frequently bought together, do we have to go to Amazon and check if that bundle already exists? And if it does, then we cannot create an ASIN for that bundle and instead have to list it under that already created ASIN. So that's a great question. If you want to create a bundle, so for example, let's go to this Swerve Confectioners here. Okay, we will go to the Tactical Edge page, and in the Tactical Edge page, we are going to see frequently bought together. Come on. Now, let's say that we're going to take this Swerve Confectioner 48 ounce and we're going to put it together with the Swerve granular sweetener and the Swerve brown sweetener. So we're going to have a nice little bundle of all three Swerve sweeteners, okay? If that already exists on Amazon, then you are not supposed to create a duplicate ASIN or a duplicate listing. That is technically against terms of service, and you would need to put it under. You need to put it under the ASIN that already exists, unless you can make it unique in some way. And I do not mean by adding, a downloadable guide to 12 different Swerve chocolate treats or whatever. It needs to be like a legitimate bundle. So maybe it's these Swerve sweeteners, and then maybe if Swerve has a liquid sweetener, maybe you're adding the liquid sweetener, and now it's the entire Swerve bundle or something like that. Let's see here. Hey, Marianne, thank you. Marianne says hit the like button. Yeah, if you guys are on YouTube, smash that like button for me. It helps me out a lot. Is there any good tool to track profit margin? I cannot use Inventory Lab since I'm based in Canada. Honestly, can you use QuickBooks Online? QuickBooks Online will do just fine. If not, you can use something like Sellerboard. I think there are some other ones out there as well. I'm not really sure. I just use Inventory Lab because everyone else does, and then I use QuickBooks for the business as a whole to figure out how much money I'm making or not making. But you could just use QuickBooks. It doesn't need to be an Amazon only product. It can be QuickBooks. You can download your reports and upload them, split them out, and figure out your profit margin and all that good stuff. Will says, OMG, if you don't do the prep yourself, what are you going to do with your prep department? Yeah, she was fired. I let her go. No, she's actually going to be doing some other things. She's going to help me with sourcing. She's really good at retail arbitrage. My wife, that is. She has been the chief executive director of prep operations, and she's done an incredible job. But we want to increase the volume and reduce the bottlenecks, and the bottlenecks were us. And she's much better at sourcing, even though she's incredible at prep. So I've asked her to go out and spend money rather than boxing up products. I think that's going to end up paying off in the long run. Sylvia says, do you type in your list of OA products, or is there a way to automatically populate a spreadsheet with data from the source site? So what I do, I cannot show you my OA list at the moment. It is full of products over the last month. However, what I do is I use RevSeller, and in RevSeller, there is this little button down here that copies the data that I have set up. And if we go to my, let's go to this settings here. So you'll see that I've got today's date, the ASIN, the title, I've got some blank fields, etc. So it pulls all of this data from the RevSeller box, and then I go and I paste that into my spreadsheet, which is set up the exact way that I want it. And then what I do is I go over to the source site and I copy this and I paste it into the spreadsheet as well. That way I can always go back and look at those items again a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road and see if the items are profitable again. And I have on my list to make like a RevSeller walkthrough video. And I really need to do that because there's a lot of stuff that RevSeller can do that people don't take advantage of, in my opinion. Let's see here. Can we get a list of your prep company you have used? So prep companies I can recommend are, I've got really good friends over at Prime Zero Prep. Those guys do an excellent job. I am currently using Central Montana Prep and Ship, I believe is the name, in a tax-free state. Just because I don't feel that I'm necessarily big enough for Prime Zero Prep. And those guys deal with some really, really big clients. So I use someone who was not quite as big and been around a while and also in a tax-free state. And then in Florida, I literally just signed up with them this week. It's called Sunny Prep. And they seem nice. I've heard good things, but I have not dropped off my first load to them yet. It's actually all sitting right there, ready to go. I'm just waiting on my appointment, and then I'll know for sure. That I could send them on to other people. Let's see here. What do I think of tariffs on Chinese goods? I'm not a private label seller, so I'm not really worried about it that much. Prices are going to go up. That's going to happen. It'll be passed on to the consumer like it always has been. This isn't the first time it's happened. It won't be the last time it happens. And things will just go on. It's no reason to. It's nothing we can do, so can't really worry about it. All right, those are those questions here. Let's see. Cheney from YouTube says, will TA be releasing a function where it tracks your ASINs you have sold or have in stock? I believe Alex is working on something for that. Yes, but I don't have a timeline or anything like that. You could do that now by saving them in a folder. So like if you go in and you decide to buy some items, I throw them into a buy list so that I do have them. Now, tracking like the amount of inventory and stuff like that, I think Alex might have something in the works, but that's not going to be something that's like the next couple of weeks or anything. I go through page after page and it's hard to find stuff. What is an easy way? Okay, Rita, one of the best ways is going to be going through sales. Those are going to be where your quick wins are. And if you haven't, go back and watch some of the other Tactical Tuesdays and Tactical Thursdays, but find a sale. So for example, I don't want to give one away that's happening this week because people get really upset when I do that. Let's say, for example, I'll do one that's not going to happen, okay? But other sites do sales like this. So let's say that Walmart is having a sale on toys for 25% off, okay? And then let's say that I can get a Walmart gift card for 7% off, all right? Now, this is not real life, but it does happen at other sites. I know this particular thing has happened at other sites. So now what I do is I've got 25% off at the store level. I've got another 7% off, okay? So if we do the math on that, we've got 100. So we are now at 30.25% off. Okay, we're at 30% off products, and that's before any cash back. Okay, just from that 25% and that 7% discount gift card. There should be something you can find at 30% off. So follow those kinds of sales. Look for sales first. Find discount gift cards. Go run scans on those areas, and then look through the products. There's got to be something. Like if we did some live sourcing again, we could go through and find a place that's having a sale, and we should be. I mean, today I sourced, I don't know, 30 products. I think 30 products, or 30 total units over maybe 6 ASINs. from one particular sale on one site. And we got to remember, if we're going an inch deep and a mile wide, we don't have to buy 30 units. We can buy 4 or 5 units and go wide. Okay. I'll see about making a video or something that will help. I know that we've done some fake sales in the past. Maybe what I'll do is I'll run a sale this week and then I'll show it after the sale's over and actually make a video on it. All right. Is there a minimum shipping amount of items for prep centers? Yes. Prep centers will typically give you a minimum amount that they will ship out. For example, one prep center I use, they won't ship anything smaller than 20 items. Yeah, just depends on your prep center. Let's see here. Maybe you've covered this in past trainings and I missed it. Wondering if you have any tips for finding replens. Okay, so for finding replens, there are a couple of things. One, think outside of the box of regular replens. Okay. Grocery is going to be the first place that people think of. Grocery is great. Okay. You also need to know with grocery that you're going to be looking at lower margins. Okay. So when I see people say, well, I only want to see things with $5 profit and 10% ROI or 20% ROI. Well, you could probably, just kiss grocery goodbye. Grocery is going to be $2, $3 profit margin or $3 of profit. They're going to be 10, 15% ROI. And that's just what it is. You could look at bundles and multi-packs in that category that might jack the ROI and the profit up. But one of my grocery replens is literally, it makes me $1. Cost me $2.49, makes me $1 profit, and we sell 50 to 75 a month. But you can also think outside of that. Think about socks, think about underwear, think about things that you don't necessarily think about. Makeup, soap. There's all kinds of things that people use on a regular basis that need to be replened, and think about those. Think about bundling and multi-packs, and then just go scan huge areas. Like I've got 3 scans running at the moment. So I've got 1,500 categories running at the moment of items that are not on sale. All right, we've got a couple more questions here. Is there any good tool to get track of profit margin? Okay, I answered that one. I find a distributor company, but I don't know how can do the wholesale correctly or trust it as a real company. That one's tough. Do some Googling, check the Better Business Bureau, check for ratings online. And then if you get a bad gut feeling about them, don't do business with them, or use a credit card. That way you can cancel the transaction. All kinds of ways that you can do that. I feel like I get more info from Tactical Edge page compared to Keepa. Is it because I use the free Keepa chart? Most likely, yes. Tactical Edge page is awesome. There's tons of information. It's incredible. But if you're using the free Keepa chart, you're missing out on a ton of information that Keepa offers. But that's fine. You can make a decision without it. It's just helpful. Lost me on YouTube? Shoot. I'm not sure why that would be. Says I'm live. Maybe it's just a YouTube error. That's okay. It'll figure itself out. How much do prep centers usually cost, and is there a website with more information on prep centers? If you Google prep centers, you will be able to find like a list of them. But prep centers can be anywhere from, like, depending on volume. At one, I'm looking at like 90 cents a unit. At the other, I'm looking at $1, $2 for multi-packs and bundles. But I'm also not paying sales tax on one of them. So that cuts into it not costing quite as much. All right. Sorry, guys. If you're on YouTube, I don't know what happened. I'm not sure why it's stuck. Let's see if I can. Looks like YouTube may just be having an issue, but that's all right. I can upload this video later on if I need to. Since you can't get the 30-day average buy box price, is there any other tools that can get this? You could use Keepa, and you could use RevSeller. I've got a discount code for RevSeller. It's Pro20 to save you $20 off. You get a 30-day trial, but those will both do the trick for you. Let's see here. Some TAers go against the grain and don't use the remove ranks over filter. In your opinion, what's the best way to use the remove ranks over filter? Very, very loosely. And the reason I say that is on the remove ranks over, I also want to see items that may be out of stock on Amazon. So, I might want to see something that's ranked 750,000 in health and beauty, but it's been out of stock for a month or 3 months. So I would, if you're going to use this remove ranks over, it doesn't matter whether it's current 30-day or 90-day. If you want things that are under 150,000, double or triple that. Because if you're doing the out of stock items on Amazon as well, you're going to want to be able to see those also. Okay. Do I have a code for the 14-day trial of T8? No, those were 14-day trials of Tactical Arbitrage. Have been gone for a long time. Only one person got that. It was only supposed to last for like a week and ended up lasting for like 3 months or 6 months or something. So they got really lucky, but that was taken away. But you can use code clear the shelf and it'll get you a 10-day trial. So you are not paying sales tax for your prep center in Florida. Well, my prep center in Florida is only for retail arbitrage, and I have a sales tax certificate in Florida, or whatever they call it. My wife took care of that. And so when I go to the stores, I use it, and I don't pay sales tax in Florida for my retail arbitrage. Okay. Any other questions? Can we open more than one instance, different tab of Tactical Edge? Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, if we see here, this Tactical Edge here, you should be able to click this and it will just open up to another tab. And now you've got 2 Tactical Edges open on 2 different products. Yeah, YouTube seems to be down here. Let me just write a note to them. Okay, let's see here. I always got some Einstein answers. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So before it's been almost an hour and a half, and I like a good Q&A. But let's talk a little bit about what changed. Number one, the history chart has changed. It's the way it is. But there's still a good amount of data in here. This is going to get better over time because tactical arbitrage is always gathering data. Okay, so this is going to get nicer. It's going to get cleaner, and Alex is going to make this better and better. And I've actually even got a few ideas for him that I'm going to throw his way. And if anybody has ideas on what might make this better, don't ever be afraid to send them in to us or Alex in the chat or anything like that. So you're going to want to get used to this new chart, okay? You can turn off the Amazon buy box. You can turn it on. You can turn off the buy box line, okay? And I still got to figure out what this gray part is. Still haven't figured that out yet, but I'll get that figured out. Oh, number of new sellers. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, the other thing is this check restrictions. The check restrictions is awesome, okay? You need to make sure that you have the Tactical Arbitrage Detective, Restrictions Detective installed. I made a video about this. For those of you watching this on YouTube, I will link that video in the description. And since YouTube is being silly, I'm not going to go grab it right now. But I'll send it out with the replay as well. But you want to make sure to have that installed, and then you're going to be able to check restrictions on every single product. Now, I'm not approved to list this product because this is actually in a category of professional beauty or whatever that is. That's not taking new sellers. Okay. So what I can do is I could actually exclude this. If this was something that I could go in and actually try to get approved for, this button would be orange and I could click on it. Okay. And I could try to get approved. I actually got approved twice from right inside of Tactical Arbitrage this week on different products. This is also telling me whether or not it's hazmat. Okay. And it all does this from right inside of Tactical Arbitrage. It's killer. Okay. Now, the other thing is that Keepa was removed. There was no Keepa link. However, you can add it back. And I did a video on this as well. It's actually, it is the most liked video that I've ever done. And that I'm going to link to that as well in the replay for you guys. But on here, you can actually see that I can pull up the Keepa chart again. Okay. And it's very, very easy to do. All I have to do is click on this plus button right here, okay? And then I can add that in there. And I'm going to link to it. You do need to go and grab a link from Keepa to add that in there, but it's nice and simple. And I'm going to come up with some other ways. You can see I'm testing another way to use this. I'm going to come up with some other ideas for you guys. Now, I've got to get running. We've run for an hour and a half tonight, and I've got to just get moving. So I'm actually going to have to cut this short like right now, I'm being told. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the names for the winners privately, and I will contact everybody who won. So thanks for being here tonight, guys. Make sure to hit that thumbs up on the YouTube for me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next week.